Have you ever thought that these characters would do well in other situations? This is a dog shit intro. Let me change that. Hello. Hello, hello. I am back to you all once again today with more thinking about what things would happen with certain Homestuck characters and then the doodads. Right, okay, I'll admit, it's like 8:21 at night and I've had a smidge bit to drink, maybe a couple of margaritas, but that's fine. I'm not like drunk. I'm probably, my mental function is just gonna be a little slower than usual. But anyway, back to the reason why you clicked on this video. What are the Smash Brothers mains of, or are the Smash Bros mains of the Homestuck people? This really only came up because it was something that the people over in a Discord that I'm in, it just went from one thing to another and it just sort of came into that. So, yeah, let's get right on into it. Starting with John. Now, and here, my first stumbling block. John is the most basic person that I think I have ever seen. So, odds are good, this guy will not be maining anyone with any type of sauce. So, my pick was mainly Mario. Or Mii Fighter. Specifically, either Sword Fighter or Brawler. I don't know why I chose that, mainly because I was already run out of ideas. Even though he was the first one, I had no clue. I looked at the entire roster, by the way, and I saw like nothing that I could attribute to whatever the hell you would consider to be John's thing. So yeah, Mario or Mii Fighter. Yeah. If there's a bet, again, you know what? Better yet, if there's a better one that y'all think are tributes to certain characters, let me know down in the comments. So, yeah, David Strider. So my main thought was, it would be cool for him to have a main, and odds are good both of the Striders will have Sword Fighter mains, but they would also have a secondary. And Dave's secondary, my thought was Incineroar, because he's sort of like a ironic / closeted furry or something like that from like early Homestuck. And also I think, you know, Bara, big muscly, Red, also Red, let me know. Yeah, and so that, and his main character would be Roy. Because he is just like Dave, just like Roy, is our boy. So, yeah. I always thought I'd have an anime sword fighter. And then some secondary that's just like more indicative of how they are, who they are, just something that you would think they would enjoy. I can see Dave, you know, being a Roy main, can't you? Rose. Now, I'm gonna come at this with a little bit of vinegar. Rose, I can imagine, is annoying as hell to play against. Like, I'm talking, she'll sit there and do a bunch of crazy shit, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm pressing every button imaginable, and there is not a single button that gets me out of hit stun. Sick! So, she seems like that kind of chick to do something like that. So my thought was Sheik or Zero Suit Samus. Really, either one. They both infuriate the shit out of me when I play Street Fighter, Smash Brothers. I just absolutely hate getting flipped around and comboed and read like a goddamn book. And, you know, they get to do all this flippity-dippity bullshit, and it's a toss-up of whether it actually kills, by the way. It's fucking dog shit-ass characters. But yeah, Rose gives me that feeling of like she would do all that, and it's like, yeah, but you still did like 20%. That's my thinking anyway. Next up, Jade would either be a Yoshi or a Piranha Plant main. Yoshi initially because she kind of fits that vibe of like a chick that just enjoys like Yoshi's Island, and that was my like line of thinking. But then I thought, you know what? She's a gardener. She likes plants. And I imagine she would also like piranha plants. She would be the one who would pay extra money for the day one piranha plant. She heard the piranha plant was going to be a part of the pre-order bonus, whatever. And she copped that shit immediately. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's for Jade. Again, if you got anything better, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, that's all of the first batch of humans. Next up, is the second batch. I'm trying to go through this. I don't know how to act at the moment. I'm kind of half like about to fall asleep. I'm so like comfortable. It's warm. I'm sleepy. I'll try and not make this ineligible. My apologies if it does. Jane. I had the same type of line of thinking involving Jane as I did with John. I don't know diddly dick about anything about them. And when I looked at the entire roster, no one jumped out to me more than Dr. Mario. Starting to see a theme here. The Crockerberts don't really have anything really much going for them in terms of stuff like that. So I just give them Mario or Mario but a doctor. But it sort of fits Jane a little bit, I think. I don't know. Regardless, we're moving on to the ones that make more sense. Dirk. Now, Dirk is like peak anime sword fighter, so I gave him Marth. He would be that type of motherfucker to be like, actually, the tipper does an extra 20%, and I know how to perfectly space it like a fucking nerd. I can totally see that with Dirk. Although I guess sometimes you may think he doesn't, you may think he means it, but he doesn't. He's trying to be ironic, but he ends up becoming the thing that he's being ironic about. Also, his side main is Cloud, because sometimes he just wants to turn his brain off and get easy dubs, just like most Cloud mains. Myself. But yeah. Roxy. Roxlalond. Literally, I had no other ways of thinking. I looked at the entire roster. Not a single other character fit the bill for Roxy other than Bayonetta. I don't, you know what? Dare I say, I don't think I have to explain myself when it comes to Roxy being a Bayo main. It just fits her personality so well. I feel like she wouldn't even be it because like, oh, it's my trait, it's my personality. She'd be like, it's a cool ass character. You know, she'd play it drunk and she's weirdly, she's shitting on everybody, you know? I can totally see it. So yeah, Roxy Bayo, she has no secondary because, you know, she's so goated with Bayo. She absolutely loved Smash 4. Holy shit. You would see her in those tournaments and you're like, oh boy. Here comes Miss Lalonde out here with the Bayo. We're gonna get our shit ran. Anyway, the last of the humans, Jake from State Farm. Because of his infatuation with Lara Croft, unfortunately, Lara Croft is not in Smash Brothers. Here's hoping if they ever make another one, they put her in. But, the next best thing is Zero Suit Samus. You may have heard it from before, you know, people can have multiple mains, like, different people can have the same mains or secondaries. And with the secondary of Bayo for, Bayonetta for Jake. Bayonetta sort of makes more sense in terms of, like, his whole infatuation with chicks and guns. But Zero Suit Samus is a chick in blue, is a whole thing as a bounty hunter. It has big bazungas and hella booty, and also has a gun. So I feel like that fit a lot better. That's just me, though. Alright, now, last but not least, all the trolls. Yes, I put the trolls here as well. They were a part of the whole little hypothetical. This is what made me think about this in the first place, was that we had an idea of, like, okay, don't ask us how we got to this point, but it's like in like a lounge room where trolls are just sort of chilling. Some people weren't there, other people were. It was the idea of Sollux and Tavros were fucking around in Smash Brothers Ultimate. And it was like, who would be the one who is shitting on who in that game? And my mind was Tavros would be secretly goated at a certain character, despite the fact that Sollux is out here playing the best of his character in his life, and he's getting shit on by a dude who looks like he's not breaking a sweat. That is why I am making this video now. It's been almost 11 minutes. Anyway, enough waffling. Karkat, well, considering who he is, and he wants to be like a leader and a commander and all the stuff in, Beyond Canon, I decided to pick that he'd be a Byleth main, because I think he's not a shithead. You will see a pretty common theme with all the choices I did for trolls, is that they all have a way to play like a shithead that you just absolutely fucking hate. Whether it be honest shithead or an annoying shithead that uses gimmicks. Regardless, but Byleth is one of the few characters, especially DLC characters, who are surprisingly, I don't know about honest, but it can easily be countered. You know, they're slow, they're somewhat bulky, but they're not like a heavyweight. It's a good all-around character, and I think it fit Karkat a lot. He liked the versatility of Byleth, I think. Anyway, we're going based off of troll blood color, so next up is Aradia. Aradia would be... I had a hard time with Aradia. Olimar main. Or Steve. She likes being silly, and that's all I wrote. That's all I wrote on this fucking script. Not even a script. These are just bullet points. What the fuck did I mean by this? Olimar or Steve? I don't fucking know. There was nothing involving, like, you know, digging around the dirt or being a time master or anything like that. I could have picked Bayo again since she slows down time, but that feel like it'd be too much Bayo love, you know? I had to be a little bit, you know, creative. If I had to pick one or the other, probably Steve. Aradia would be weirdly goated with Steve, and it'd be very annoying. Anyway, Tavros, or if you want to switch up the two letters in the middle, Tavros. Fuck, I forgot the old way that I said it. Shit, it was so much better though. Anyway, that's the other video. Tavros would be a young Link player, because his whole infatuation with fairies, he'd probably feel like some, like, connection with young Link, you know? His whole thing with, like, finding a fairy and yada yada yada. Also, the main reason why, and the one half of the other reason of why I made this in the first place, is that his secondary is Yoshi. And one might be very confused because he usually plays Yoshi, but he has young Link in his backup, but his main is his backup. He currently plays Yoshi mainly, and he's weirdly good at it. If you had to pit Jade and Tavros between themselves in terms of a ditto between Yoshis, Tavros might honestly win. Just because he's kind of wild about it. He does some bullshit you ain't never see. And that's like, what the fuck? He's weirdly ambitious when he goes off stage. And he surprisingly knows what he's doing. But, you know, anyone else and he flounders. But yeah, Tavros, Young Link with a secondary of Yoshi, or Yoshi with a secondary of Young Link. Sollux, the other half of what I have been talking about. Sollux would absolutely 110% be a Samus / Dark Samus main. He seems like the type. And considering his bipolar ass nature, he can, Samus, as well as most of the other, you know, projectile spammers in this fucking game, have insanely amazing CQC options for some godforsaken reason. So, yeah. You know, you get close to Samus thinking, alright, now's the time. And then she starts beating the shit out of you with her arm cannon. It's like, Huh? Where'd this come from? But, yeah. Sollux would be a Samus Dark Samus main. He's an annoying little prick who refuses to get hit. I can feel it in my bones on this one, for sure. Nepeta. Nepeta is next. Now, you know what I'm gonna say. I don't even think I need to... Look at the... You know what? Look at the entire roster. Look at the entire roster of Smash Brothers Ultimate. Take a wild fucking guess who her main is. I'll give you a moment to respond. If you didn't say Incineroar, you're kind of dumb, aren't you? But, yes, it's Incineroar. It's literally the only cat-type character at all in Smash. You know how many dogs there are? A lot more than cats. Kind of crazy if you think about it. Because I think there's like 4 to 5 characters who are classified as dogs or anthro dogs or what have you. Pokemon, Animal Crossing, you know, Star Fox. I'm forgetting more, but there's more. It's like, huh? Why are there so many? What, pray tell, is the goddamn dog doing? Fighting in Smash Brothers, I guess. But yeah, her secondary would be Wolf because Wolf kind of fits the more apex predatory type deal that she has going for in her RPs. But her main is Incineroar. She's a furry, so of course I'm gonna give her the furry characters. Kanaya. Kanaya does not seem like the person to play Smash at all. She also seems like the type to get a little heated because she hasn't played in a while. And then she plays and then she's like, what in the fuck? Why am I not winning? It's so annoying having to press buttons, you know, and not have shit make sense, you know, and she get a little angry. But she doesn't play often. When she does, she absolutely picks Palutena. She oozes Palutena energy. She herself could probably dress up as Palutena. Yo, artists, I gave you an idea. Time to capitalize on it. Palutena x Kanaya, and I'm not just talking about shipping them. Bada bing, you're welcome. Anyway, next up is Terezi. We're almost near the end. Terezi was a little odd. And this choice is mainly because of her sense of righteousness and upholding of justice. She plays Richter. She plays Richter solely because of, like, the vanquishing of the darkness, or something like that. She also has no fucking clue which one's Richter and which one's Simon. Other than a vague guess of, it's the blue guy with the whip. But, yeah, she seems to pick Richter a lot more. With a secondary of being Fox. Because, well, you'll see in a second. But she has a secondary of Fox. She's a little bit of a sweat. Anyway. Vriska. The main huge bitch in charge. Vriska. Vriska, and I do not care if it seems like I am biased. I absolutely the fuck am. But holy shit, she oozes Game & Watch energy. Now, hold on. Stay with me now. Game & Watch energy. Game & Watch, side B, constant 9s at the most inopportune times. I'm telling ya, her luck, it kind of fits. The only other one that I could think of in terms of luck would be Heroes Down B, but that's still a little too honest for Vriska, personally. But so yeah, Game & Watch is her main, with her secondary being Falco. See, it ends up coming back around because Fox and Falco are like rivals, and Terezi and Vriska are sort of rivals / lovers, just like Fox and Falco. What? But yeah. Vriska is weirdly great at timing the different judge numbers. And yeah, that's about it. Equius, the horse guy. There is no horse characters, alas, in Super Smash Bros. I know. Huge shame. But there is a royalty person. Which means, surprise, surprise, he probably... he plays him because he simps over King Dedede. I have no doubt. He also has a secondary of Little Mac because it's quite literally how he is. Honestly, we could probably switch the two. Little Mac could be his main with King Dedede as the secondary. Sure, why not? Yeah, it makes about sense. Gamzee. Gamzee's next. Also plays very rarely. Very rare. Oh my god. The boos are getting to me. Oh my god. Gamzee plays not a lot. There we go. Just like Kanaya. But when he does, he's like very good at Mewtwo. The dude, it almost looks like he locks in once Mewtwo is picked. He just like sobers up and then just absolutely decimates you. You would think that whole thing with the tail hitbox would hinder him at all. Nope. Not at all. Yeah, that's Gamzee. Very simple, thank God. Eridan. Now, you may think that I'm going against the idea of what Eridan is about in terms of this pick, but let me explain. Sephiroth. Now, again, stay with me now. He would probably think Sephiroth is actually a good guy, and that Cloud is the antagonist because he's fucking stupid. But he might see like the angel wing, the one angel wing, and that it's only one instead of two. He may come to the absolutely wrong conclusion that he had his wing clipped and he's like a fallen angel, and he has to go to the dark side in order to be a hero. He'll make so many leaps in logic to the point where he gets to when he gets to a certain point, and it's all completely wrong. So that's why that he would play Sephiroth. And that's my TED Talk for that. Feferi or Feferi. Fucking dumb. But Feferi. I quite literally couldn't think of anything other than female Corrin. Female Corrin specifically. Mainly because of like the water dragon type stuff. I ran out of ideas. I'll keep it honest. I ran out of ideas. Secondary, Rosa and Luma, because she's kind-hearted and hot. I mean, kind-hearted and big and yeah. Anyway, that is my selection for all the characters of Trolls and Humans and OG Homestuck, who they're holy shit, this is awful video. Bro, I'm stuttering. I am like losing my train of thought. This was a horrible idea to do this late and this potentially inebriated. What is wrong with me? Yeah, like the video. Like the video if you enjoyed this crazy ass bullshit. And if you want to see more crazy ass bullshit, but hopefully a lot more coherent, check out more of my videos and subscribe if you keep coming back. You know what? Keep coming. I'm gonna pull a Smitty. You keep coming back anyway, you may as well subscribe. Har. Catch y'all up on the flip side. I don't know if this is even gonna be a full-on video, but we'll see. It probably will. Hopefully it'll be enjoyable. Have a good day, night, evening, twilight, whatever it be, whatever you are, still got it. Bye.